President of Judicial Watch, Tom Fitton, joining me right now. Tom, it's always a pleasure. You know, it's telling to see how angry these Democrats get when you take away their power to tell the rest of us what to do and how to run our lives, yes?
Well, it's even more direct. You're taking away their money. The left relies on agencies like USAID to launder tax money into their groups, their related groups, that then spend it to advance their agenda abroad. And in certain circumstances, you get government monies going to advance their agenda at home. This is really, I think, a indictment of the Democratic Party and the left, that they're so crazed about the president's desires to curb waste, fraud, and abuse. President Trump, and frankly all members of the executive branch, have a positive constitutional obligation to take reasonable steps to ensure our money isn't being wasted. That has not been done for a generation here in Washington, D.C., and all the screaming and yelling and caterwauling about all this suggests he's onto something. And Musk is smart enough to know, well, how's the money being spent? Let's go to see who's spending the money. Let's get details on it. And in the case of USAID, it's been a rogue agency that thinks it's above the law. It thinks it's above democratic transparency and norms, where the person who's elected to office runs the show as opposed to the unelected bureaucrats. This is saving democracy, restoring Republican constitutional systems here in the United States. And, Trump deserves a medal for it.
Amen to that. And look, the CIA is now, we're hearing, offering sweeping buyouts to the entire workforce as President Trump pushes to downsize a federal government that has clearly grown beyond the consent of the governed. The buyout includes 8 months of pay and benefits in exchange for their resignations. Unofficial word is the majority of these buyouts are being accepted. What are your thoughts on this, Tom?
Well, we've got too many federal government employees. Any honest employee in most federal agencies will admit there are people who really don't contribute anything to the agency. So there's lots of room for cuts, and the voluntary cuts through these retirement incentives seem to be quite sensible. And the good news is there has to be more significant cuts, and they're not ruling that out. We're broke. We can't afford it anymore. We have a $2 trillion annual deficit, nearly $35 trillion in debt, 2.5 million federal employees, and that's outside the Defense Department, outside the Postal Service, which is another.
Right.
Elon Musk, call your office about the post office. 2.5 million? I mean, it's absurd, the number. It's uncontrollable.
You're on
We've got
point.
to get the government back under control.
Look, I've only got about 30 seconds, and I got to get you to comment on this. Senator Chuck Schumer, because of his open threats against 2 sitting Supreme Court justices, we are being told he may be under investigation. Isn't it about time that Democrats actually had to comply with the law and be held accountable?
For years they've been threatening and endorsing the intimidation of Supreme Court justices. Senator Schumer quite explicitly, and the acting U.S. attorney for the District of Columbia, sent a letter of inquiry reportedly to him. So he is under investigation. You can't threaten government officials like he did, let alone Supreme Court justices. There's got to be equal application of the law. You can't be in favor of indicting everybody and their mother over January 6th, yet allowing this sort of violent threats to go by without any law enforcement action.
True. God bless Judicial Watch. Tom Fitton, sir, thank you very much. Appreciate your time and all of your efforts.